City Council has approved its 2024 municipal budget. It includes $102.9 million for the city's operating budget and $64.5 million for capital projects. Taxpayers with a home assessed at $350,000 will see their tax bill increase by $10 per month, with $2 per month going towards the Infrastructure Gap Reserve Fund. Some of the major capital projects include construction of the Cenovus Energy Hub, underground infrastructure, and roads. Meanwhile, a public hearing took place at City Council regarding the state of the Lloydminster Men's Shelter. People flooded chambers to voice their concerns on the bylaw dictating where the men's shelter will be located. Residents spoke on Lloydminster's growing number of homeless people.
Limited to, and until there was a bylaw change or an amendment change proposed, they could not do anything at all. So that's what was brought forward.
Many people who spoke were in favor of the proposed bylaw. However, everyone agreed that shelter discussions are far from over.
We heard from representatives of the men's shelter who spoke to the positiveness and to support this, that they have future plans and realize they may not be in the best location. But this is a short-term fix, we believe, to a long-term problem.
If you'd like more information on the approved bylaw, you can visit lloydminster.ca/bylaws. Abby St. John is in now to bring us our weather picture. Abby, what can we expect?
Well, we saw quite a cloudy day today, and that's expected to carry on over into tomorrow. We saw there was a tiny bit of sun, I know, this morning. I saw a little bit, but for the most part, quite overcast, and that's what we're expecting tomorrow as we go in. But hopefully by the end of the week, we're going to see a little bit more sun. But for right now, we're going to have to deal with a little bit more cloud coverage. It's currently 0 degrees, but feels closer to -4 with that wind speed coming in at 11 kilometers per hour. We saw a mostly cloudy day out today. And then across the region, similar temperatures in Alberta, 3 degrees out in Provost, 2 in Wainwright, -2 in Cold Lake and Lac La Biche, -1 in Bonnyville, St. Paul and Vegreville, and +1 in Marwayne, Vermilion, and in Edmonton. And then on the Saskatchewan side, -7 up in Isla Crosse, -1 in Pearson, Green Lake, Meadow Lake, and Maidstone, and St. Walburg, -2 in North Battleford, and +3 out in Macklin. And then overnight tonight in North Battleford, mostly cloudy skies, a low of -8, and that wind speed will be at 13 kilometers per hour. So it's going to be quite chilly out tonight. And then tomorrow, expected quite cloudy day out with a high of -5, so it's going to be on the colder side. That wind's coming in at 15 kilometers per hour, so that -5 is going to feel a little bit more colder due to that wind. And then overnight tonight in Cold Lake, things cool off even quite a bit. -10 overnight, but the clouds will start breaking over throughout the evening, so it won't be super heavy cloud coverage. Wind speeds at 13 kilometers per hour, so it's going to be quite a chilly evening out tonight. And then tomorrow, just a high of -6. Cloudy is to be expected, and cooler days with 11 kilometer per hour wind, so that -6 is going to feel a little bit colder than that. And then overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will also drop down to -10, so it will be quite cold out tonight. Winds at 15 kilometers per hour and quite cloudy. And that cloudy condition is expected to be in tomorrow. A little breakdown of the day. In the morning, it'll be -10, cloudy skies. And then around recess time in the mid-morning, it'll be -8. And then the clouds will be the trend for the whole day. And then -6 will be the high around lunchtime and up until school is out. And with that wind chill, it's going to feel a little bit cooler than that as well. So definitely be prepared for that. Make sure you are dressed for the weather. And then over the next 3 days here, like I said, cloudy conditions will carry over into tomorrow and then Thursday as well, with a high of -5 and a low of -9. And then on Friday, we might get to see some sun and we'll be above 0 with a high of +2 and a low of -6. That is your first look at your evening weather forecast. I'll have a more in-depth one later on in the show.
number 1 ranked Lakeland Rustlers women's volleyball team were hoping to keep their winning streak alive when they faced off against the Ambrose University Lions. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Following a 3-set sweep of the Lethbridge College Kodiaks, the Rustlers had another South Division matchup in the Ambrose Lions. The first set was close, and no team ever went on a long scoring streak. It came down to the wire, but the Rustlers escaped the first set with a 25-22 set victory. The second set was also a very tight matchup, but once again, the Rustlers got into a rhythm and pulled away to win the second set 25-19. The third set was incredibly tight as the teams were tied at 14. The Rustlers then had a breakthrough and pulled away to win the third set 25-18 and complete the 3-set sweep, with Avery Bates getting player of the game for the Rustlers.
So we definitely came in knowing that this team was going to be big and that we had to just outperform them, play our game. And that's exactly what we did. We just played our game. It was a little sloppy, but we pulled out.
The Rustlers have been ranked number 1 in the country by the CCAA for a number of weeks. Despite some major injuries, the Rustlers have been able to continue to rise to the occasion.
Season's been very interesting. It's the most banged up of a team that I've ever had in my career. All of these injuries just kind of keep happening to us, and so we're hoping that we're going to at some point going to be completely healthy this season. And if we are, I'm very excited for the team we're going to be, because the players that have had to go in to fill different roles and different jobs that maybe haven't started before, they're going to have that much more experience.
The Rustlers will have a big set of matches against a North Division rival to finish up before the Christmas break.
So our last game's against Augustana, who has the same record as us. So we're just really going in thinking we got to play it clean again. Same with this team. They have a couple good players, so we just got to really prepare and train for it and practice.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Abby St. John is back in to have another look at the weather.
Thanks so much, Leanne. Current temperatures is 0 degrees. We saw quite an overcast day out today, and with that wind chill, it feels closer to -4. Winds come in at 11 kilometers per hour, so it was quite a chilly day out today comparatively to the last few days and even over the weekend, which was beautiful. But we are into those chillier temperatures now for the next couple of days at least. More temperatures across Alberta, 12 degrees out in Red Deer, which is awesome to see. 8 degrees are in Rocky Mountain House and Jasper, 6 in Edson, 1 in Edmonton, 3 in Whitecourt, and -2 in Athabasca and Cold Lake. And then on the Saskatchewan side, -2 in Meadow Lake, North Battleford, and Prince Albert, -3 in Melfort, and +1 in Saskatoon. And then more up north in Saskatchewan, -11 in Uranium City, -12 in Stony Rapids, -10 in Wollaston Lake and South End, -7 in Flin Flon, and -8 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows. And then on the Alberta side, -10 in Fort Chipewyan and High Level, -9 in Fort Mac, -5 in Peace River, +7 in Grand Prairie, and -2 out in Slave Lake. And then down south in Alberta, 15 in Lethbridge, 14 in Medicine Hat, 13 in Calgary, and 2 in Banff and Coronation. So some of those places are sitting quite warm right now, which is quite nice at this time of year. And then on the Saskatchewan side, down south, +5 in Kindersley and Moose Jaw, 7 in Swift Current, 1 in Regina, 0 in Yorkton, and 2 out in Estevan. Overnight tonight in North Battleford will drop down to -8, mostly cloudy skies, so it's going to be quite chilly out tonight. -10 overnight in Cold Lake, and then a little bit less cloud coverage, but it will still be, you'll still see some clouds in the sky, so it's going to be quite chilly out. And then more overnight temperatures across the region, -9 in Meadow Lake, -10 in Bonnyville and Paradise Hill, -17 in Isle of Cross, and -7 in Provo. So it's going to be quite cold overnight tonight in a lot of those places. Not a huge chance of any snowfall. There is a small chance, but for the most part, it's going to remain quite cloudy in the majority of those areas. And then more overnight temperatures across the region, -8 in Miriam and Wainwright, -11 in Pearceland, -9 in Unity, and -2 out in Calgary. And again, quite cloudy throughout both regions. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will drop down to -10. Expect cloudy skies, and the clouds will continue on into tomorrow, and it's going to be quite windy out tonight with 15-kilometer-per-hour winds. And then tomorrow will be a high of -5 and a low of -14. And then on Thursday, those clouds will continue with a high of -5 and a low of -9. On Friday, it will be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of +2 and a low of -6, and expect some wind speeds. On Saturday, it's going to be a mostly sunny day, but it will be quite breezy with a high of +1 and a low of -11. And then on Sunday, there's a 60% chance of a bit of morning snow, and it's going to remain quite cloudy throughout the day with a high of -3 and a low of -10. And then on Monday, there's about a 56% chance of a little snow and rain mix. So it might end up being quite icy out on Monday. So definitely be cautious about that. It will be in the morning with a high of -2 and a low of -6. And then on Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -1 and a low of -6. And that wraps up your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break. I'm back at Border Paws Animal Shelter for another edition of Pet Project, and today we have a gorgeous cat named Jenner, and he is very affectionate and loves people, and I believe you'll tell us more, but he's good with other cats as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me about his story and how he came to be here.
So Jenner was found as a stray near the end of September and brought to us early October. We believe he's approximately 2 years old. He's been here in the cat room with a few other cats and gets along well with all of them. He's obviously very affectionate. Hasn't been tested with dogs yet, but great with kids, great with people, great with other cats, and just a sweetie, just loves affection.
He really is, and he's very playful too.
Yes.
He's a little bit of a nibbler,
Yes.
but I feel like it's a very playful kind of mechanism for him, and I feel like if he was introduced slowly to other dogs, I can't see there being much of an issue. He may be a little bit of an antagonizer,
Yeah.
but all coming from the place of just affection, which is adorable. And you said that he was found, so he's been here since September.
The early October, yeah.
Early October. And he came in as a stray, and he was just
found.
And I think actually our camera guy was the one that found him. So it kind of comes full circle a little bit. Now, on Saturday, you guys had two events kind of going back to back with each other, the Christmas fair and then a adoption event.
Yes.
Tell me how both of those went.
So at the Christmas craft show, we actually received a lot of monetary donations, which is very helpful because a lot of these guys that come in need some extra medical attention, and it helped a lot. We had a lot of kitties adopted at our adoption event at Pet Value. Marty was there. He's one of our dogs still available for adoption, showing off, doing tricks. And right now we have a kitty named Swift who's there waiting for their forever home.
Yes. Which is good, and it's fantastic that you guys were able to get a lot of cat adoptions as well, considering the numbers. You guys still high on those numbers, if you know?
Over 100 between the shelter and our fosters.
So definitely, this is a really good event to have.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And finally, I ask the same question every week. Is there any donations that you're in need of?
Yes, absolutely. Right now, we're looking for cat litter, adult cat food, wet cat food, and the extra large heavy-duty garbage bags, because if you can imagine with all the animals and the cleaning and stuff, we do go through quite a bit.
And that's very, very helpful as well. It's something that's definitely a necessity for day-to-day operations for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And Jenner, you were an absolute beautiful guest, and you are going to make someone's home very, very special. So
He's not camera shy.
definitely not, as most cats usually are, but he is just beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Royalty was in Vancouver last night as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made a surprise appearance at the Canucks game. The Prince performed these.
To welcome Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, founder and patron of the Invictus Games Foundation.
Queen Elizabeth II did the same puck drop 21 years ago. Harry is the founder of the Invictus Games, which will be held in BC in 2025. Meghan did not step on the ice, but was in attendance. The couple were later shown on the big screen, watching from a private box.
Yeah, I got that. I found that clip on social media of them cheering on the Canucks. But, you know, it's great that he's, you know, making a name for himself on his own, you know?
Yeah, I suppose. Lots of controversy with the Royals. But,
Absolutely.
always
and
fun to see
there
some
will
of the stuff they're
always be controversy with the royal
for
family, especially. So, but it's great that he's doing his own thing here and giving back as well with his in the games that he's putting on in BC. So
Yeah,
we'll
for
see what
sure.
happens.
Well, that's all we have for you today for Primetime Local News. Thanks for joining us and have a great evening.